Welcome back to Fireside Yankees. My name is Alex. Now, yesterday we saw the Yankees promote Everson Pereira and Oswald Peraza. Now, Pereira is supposed to be playing in left field on an everyday basis, going to gather a lot of information about what he can be in the future. But the corresponding move to promoting Pereira is actually to promote Jasson Dominguez at AAA. Now, Dominguez has been red hot over the past couple of weeks, but I'll tell you what. This player, he's really close to becoming an MLB caliber athlete, and right now, I don't think he needs much time in AAA to finally take that jump. Now, keep in mind, Jasson Dominguez is 20 years old. You don't want to rush a prospect like this, but you look at Anthony Volpe. He's been getting progressively better as the season has gone on. He's hit 17 homers. He can be a 30 for 30 player. He's gotten a lot of developmental time in this season by the Yankees giving him a pretty long leash. He only played about 20, 22 games in AAA. Now, Dominguez is going to have a little bit more action than that in AAA before they want to make a decision on his future. So Dominguez, you could see him playing the next 5 weeks, which he's going to be promoted for until the season ends in AAA, and looking at what he can accomplish in that time period, maybe 30 plus games. A nice little sample size for him to go into spring training next year and say, okay, I have a little bit of action under my belt, and now we can see about transitioning to the major leagues and becoming a prominent player for this Yankee team and a potential starting outfield for the future. So you look at what's going to happen next year, and you start to think about what happens if the Yankees don't spend a lot right now on an outfielder like Cody Bellinger. If Hal Steinbrenner says, you know what, we're just going to revitalize the front office, we're going to change the mentality, replace some people, not going to spend big bucks, maybe we're just going to go with a youth movement here and then start to piece players around that. Sometimes giving these guys opportunities to develop and progress at the major league level is predominantly the best move you can make. And right now with the Yankees, you're not going to sign Cody Bellinger and become a World Series caliber team. You need to actually commit to some of these youth players to develop and become prominent pieces at a price-efficient cost moving forward, so you can spend elsewhere. The outfield has been in disarray for a couple seasons. Left field has been a wasteland for the most part, and the Yankees DFAing Greg Allen opens up another outfield spot. Billy McKinney to the IL. Now you got Pereira playing on an everyday basis in left field. Who knows what happens with Harrison Bader after this campaign? But Dominguez, on the other hand, has a good opportunity if he impresses in AAA, guys. This is a guy right now leaving AA, playing 109 games, hit 254, 367 OBP, 414 slugging percentage, a 25.6% strikeout rate, 15.2% walk rate, hit 15 homers with 66 RBIs, and a really impressive 37 stolen bases, 117 WRC plus. Now, Dominguez is one of those guys that has ridiculous max exit velocities, average exit velocities. He's got legitimate generational power, but he hasn't really shown it this year, which is kind of interesting. He's been really focused on his plate approach, the discipline he wants in the batter's box, and at 20 years old, he's really refined in a lot of those facets. So the Yankees want to continue to see that development at the AAA level. How much different is AA than AAA? That's yet to be seen when it comes to him. Some players don't skip a beat, like Pereira, transition right from AA to AAA and kick serious ass. Now you're looking at Dominguez, hoping he can do a similar thing, because ultimately that's what's going to propel him to the next level. But looking at what he just finished doing in AA, in July, he hit 297 with a 372 OBP and 406 slugging percentage, and then in August, 380, 438 OBP, 608 slugging. So you're seeing that slugging metric really increase, a 2% increase over that same sample size. So you're seeing a pretty significant jump there in terms of slugging prowess, and then a 1.046 OPS. So really nice improvements here, really nice improvements in the slugging departments, and getting on base at a really high clip and showcasing all of the metrics that we love to see. 3 homers, 14 RBIs, he had 8 stolen bases, 9 walks. This is a guy who's starting to really put it all together. He only had 17 strikeouts in 89 plate appearances this year, so a lot better. We're seeing a lot better from Jasson Dominguez, and he warranted this promotion to AAA. Now you have to ask yourselves, do the Yankees take a Anthony Volpe approach here? Do the Yankees say, you know what, Dominguez, we don't want to see you in AAA for 100 games. We don't need to see you in AAA for 100 games. You kicked ass for us in spring training. Let's bump this guy up when spring training comes around in 2024. If he performs well, switch hitter, you add another lefty bat to the lineup. Obviously, against favorable opponents, you have that option with him. And he can play left field, he can play center field. Really just ask both these guys. In spring training, give Everson Pereira a chance in left and center, and Dominguez chances in left and center, and let the best man win. Right now, I feel as though the Yankees, upgrading the outfield is going to be extremely difficult when it comes to allocating substantial financial resources, right? If you're going to go out and get Cody Bellinger, you got to be ready to spend 150 plus million. He's going to go on a pretty long-term deal after this really, really great season he's having. And who knows if Hal Steinbrenner is going to be willing to give Brian Cashman that level of financial freedom. So I'll say this right now. If the Yankees are not going to go out and spend big, their best strategy is to go with these prospects, to give them chances at the major league level to refine their qualities now instead of waiting until later when it may be too late or there's other players in the mix. And, you know, what do we have to see from Billy McKinney or Jake Bauers or any of these supplementary pieces? I'd rather see Jasson Dominguez getting live at-bats now where he can refine his qualities at the highest level, seeing MLB pitching, than waiting in AAA and just kind of collecting dust, because the AAA game, it's a lot different. You know, you're not going to see the same level of pitcher. You're not going to see the same level of defense, whatever it might be. Getting those live reps like Anthony Volpe has this season, and you could make an argument that Jasson Dominguez is a better prospect than Anthony Volpe. You know, Volpe was not hitting well in AAA when they called him up. If Dominguez comes in and kicks ass in AAA, what's the harm in calling him up? You could make an argument it's a more progressive move. And committing to this youth, it gives you a lot more freedom in the future to spend big. You don't have to go out and spend big on these aging contracts or consume Josh Donaldson type deals, 2 years, $50 million, just to try and pray that he has a little bit of gas left in the tank. You don't need to do these things anymore. You can commit to your young guys. You got Peraza, you got Pereira, you have Volpe, you know, even Gleyber Torres is still really, really young, 26 years old, I believe, and you have Dominguez in center field or left field, whatever it might be, and then you have Judge on the long-term deal, who's your best player by far. That's not a bad core to start with. You refine that core. You know, you remember a couple of years ago when the Yankees tried to go in the direction of Andujar and Clint Frazier and Severino, it all fell apart. Greg Bird because of injuries and inconsistencies. These guys are a little bit different. You know, they're pretty healthy, they're durable, they're reliable, they have really good defensive metrics. They're just different prospects entirely, and they've been refining these players for years. I feel like right now is a good time to start to commit to some of these young guys, but I could be wrong. You know, maybe it's better, you're better off going out and spending $150+ million on Cody Bellinger. Could be a lot more than that. Maybe you're better off just mortgaging the future on these big contracts. I personally don't think that's the case because of the results it has displayed over the past couple seasons. I think right now, Dominguez, best case scenario in the world that we live in, not the world where Shohei Ohtani is signed and Juan Soto's traded for, the world that we live in, Jasson Dominguez becoming a starting everyday outfielder and Everson Pereira doing the same is a perfect scenario because you commit to that youth, you give them chances at the level that they need to be competing at. Good players in AAA. Franchi Cordero's amazing in AAA. Estevan Florial's amazing in AAA. It's a different game than it is in the MLB. Sometimes you got to give these guys opportunities at the highest level and let them refine their talents, let them develop in the majors, and that's what I think they should do with Dominguez next year as long as he is ready for that transition. He is young at 20 years old, but I feel like he's very mature for his age, and he's got a lot of the tools you want to see from MLB caliber talent now. So 30, 40 games in AAA, that may be all he needs to make that transition. So hopefully we'll see that. I'd love to hear your perspectives down below. Make sure to like and subscribe as always, and we'll catch you guys on the next Fireside Yankees episode.